Welcome to another episode of That Sailing Couple podcast. I'm Tim.
I'm Lauren.
And today's episode is the front row seats to the Great Vallejo Shitshow.
Oh, yeah.
We're kicking off the sailing season here in the San Francisco Bay. Beercan races have started. Events are back on. 2022 is looking like a great year.
So far, so good.
Pretty excited about it over here.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
You know, we were in the Bay Area, we were shut down maybe a little harder than other places were shut down. Lauren and I used that time to kind of readjust our lives and kind of refocus some things, and we are raring to go and just, God, I want to socialize, you know what I mean? Like, I really like events of like all kinds.
Music.
Concerts, ball games, parties, and we're new to this whole yachting thing, so we're trying to get some sailing events in under the belt this year as well.
Yep, and we're off to a good start.
Yeah, totally.
So we're stoked.
Let's go ahead and just talk about opening day on the bay.
Yep, opening day on the bay was not this past weekend, but the weekend prior, officially.
On Sunday.
On
it was
Sunday.
the official like boat parade, blessing of the fleet in Raccoon Strait.
And opening day is to signify the beginning of the official sailing season on the bay.
Yeah, all the Beercan races start in April and then go through like depending
September.
on which club. There's like 20 some clubs that do Beercan events, but they I think Berkeley's go all the way through October.
Yeah, so
And then
April to September, generally speaking.
Yeah, and I mean no matter which side of the bay you live on, north, south, east, or west, there's a club that's racing near you.
Yep,
Every Wednesday and Friday night probably.
exactly.
Some of them do it Thursdays, but Wednesday and Friday seem to be the popular things. So
The hard copy of the sailing calendar has all the Beercan races listed, right?
yeah, she's talking about the 2022 Northern California Sailing Calendar published by Latitude 38, which is the official Yacht Racing Association of the San Francisco Bay schedule. So a lot of the announcements are in here, and then just kind of the monthly calendars of events. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Lots of stuff going
A
on.
lot of stuff going on.
Almost every day of the week through
And
sailing season.
you know, one of the things that surprised me was like how casual some of these like yacht club events actually are. If you're one of these, like I was, who was turned off by the whole yacht club thing, it's not what you think it is. All right, just go out there, man. It's just people getting drunk. Well, there's people that take it extremely seriously too, but there's just not many of them at our yacht club or some of the other yacht clubs.
It's not just about getting drunk. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you know.
Socializing, having fun, getting out there on the water, and enjoying socializing with friends.
Totally.
You don't have to get drunk to have a good time.
It's a pretty laid-back environment, I guess, was my point.
So we found out what Beercan racing really is, which kind of brings us to the recently discovered 10 commandments of Beercan racing.
Drum roll, please.
Commandment number 1, thou shalt not take anything other than safety too seriously.
You know, relax, have fun, keep it light. Late to start? So what? Over early? Big deal. No instructions? Improvise. You know why they call it Beercan racing?
Turns out it's because there's usually beer cans involved.
Well, it's actually because, you know, back in the olden days of, you know, people not giving a shit about the environment and whatnot, that's how you know where the race course is that you follow the beer cans.
Oh my heavens. That's foul.
So we don't do that in San Francisco anymore.
Definitely not. And by the way, we found these 10 commandments of Beercan racing from Latitude 38, and we're going to post a link below. But they seem to be extremely official. So we're going to make sure we review these, understand them, and then obviously abide.
Abide and promote.
And promote. So commandment number 2, thou shalt honor the racing rules if thou knowest them.
And if you don't know them, just stay out of the way.
Don't get hit.
Yeah.
Rule number 1.
Don't be involved in a wreck.
Number 3, thou shalt not run out of beer.
This seems like a really important one.
Beer can race or no beer can race. Some skippers abide by the thou shalt not run out of beer rule.
That's definitely a policy on Bodacious Plus.
We'll get into that a little later.
Go ahead with rule number 4.
Commandment number 4, thou shalt not covet thy competitor's boat, sails, equipment, crew, or PHRF rating.
Ooh, that last one's a hard one. PHFR ratings, I've kind of dived into them a little bit just to try and understand them a little more because, like, they seem downright unfair sometimes, but...
And I think part of the inclusion on this beer can racing list is beer can racing is not really to, you know...
It's not about winning. It's more about, like, the burger coming off the grill when you get back to the yacht club, right?
Yeah, it's about the socialization, for sure. And friendly competition.
Friendly competition.
Emphasis on the friendly.
Yeah.
So the PHRF rating and the beer can race shouldn't be taken into consideration quite as seriously as in a more established regatta.
Well, it is. I mean, that's why you guys perform well. It's because you have a good PHRF rating.
Absolutely.
Like, you have the smallest boat in the fleet, and you get a lot of time for it. And
exactly.
You know, Megan does well because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not amp out. Commandment number 5.
No swearing, no screaming, or overly aggressive tactics. Save that shit for the office.
Or,
says Latitude 38.
if you must, for Saturday's quote-unquote real race.
Yeah, and this is a really good explanation. If you lose it on Friday night, you're going to run out of crew, not to mention friends, in a big hurry. So down a quick chill pill on the way to the starting line. It's been medically proven to have a calming influence on the nerves.
Mm-hmm. Commandment number 6, thou shalt not protest thy neighbor. For some, easier said than done. However, it's just a beer can race. So refer to commandment number 5, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, and if you are going to protest, you damn well better show up at the yacht club afterwards so everyone can talk a massive amount of shit to you.
Which is commandment number 8.
You're going to protest on the radio and then sail back to your home base? Like,
get out of here with that. Weak.
Yep. So what do we got for number 7, Lauren?
Thou shalt not mess up thy boat, meaning save your sails for the quote-unquote real Saturday race.
Yeah, you don't want to blow them out on Friday and then have to sit out the Great Vallejo Shitshow on Saturday and Sunday.
Exactly. Commandment number 8, thou shalt always go to the yacht club afterwards.
Always, man. And like, even if you don't participate in the race, don't be afraid to show up at the yacht club.
Absolutely.
Spit out whoever's name you know that might be there, and I'm sure that they will come to the door and let you in. Exactly. You know, if you want to come to Berkeley on Friday, I'll sponsor you. Let's go.
Just thou shalt bring thy spouse, kids, friends, and whoever else wants to go. Commandment number 9.
Yep. Great place to like hang out and get to know people.
Beer can races are a great opportunity for inclusion. At the BYC on Friday nights.
If you're a skipper, a great place to try out new crew. Mm-hmm. You know. At the
BYC on Friday nights, I think it's long known that you can just show up to the dock on Friday night around dock time, which is between 5:30 and 6 p.m. generally, and give a little knock, give a little cruise around the docks and ask if anybody needs crew, and chances are you'll find yourself on a boat, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's super cool, and I imagine that kind of goes for the other clubs as well.
I'm assuming so.
Don't be afraid to meet people on the dock. Like, sailors are a friendly bunch.
Yep, very inclusive, for sure.
And if, you know, the guy you meet doesn't have space on his or her boat, like, he or she probably knows someone that does. So,
yep.
I mean,
number 10, thou shalt not worry, thou shalt be happy.
Lighten up. It's not the big boat series.
Have fun, and we'll see you out there.
I like these rules. This was once again published by Latitude 38. I think it was just on their Instagram. I'm not 100% sure.
I found it on the website. We are going to post a link to the official commandments. On the official document, it does say that these are transcribed by the monks at Spinnaker Sailing of Redwood City from the original text by Latitude 38. So, the 10 Commandments of Beer Can Racing, Failure to abide by these laws could exclude you from Beercan heaven. Pay attention, study up, and we'll see you on Friday.
Yeah.
Or Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. We got an invite to go
with Sail La Vie.
Sail La Vie they sail out of the Richmond Harbor.
Dwayne and Rose.
And they have a 41-foot Beneteau, or a Beneteau 411. Yeah, good people.
Great people.
Met these guys on the big boat that I'm racing on.
They head up a number of the cruise outs over at the RYC, correct?
Yeah, totally. I think, they're involved with the cruise planning over there.
Mm-hmm. Find them on Instagram.
And they said that there's like 50 boats last week at the Beercan in Richmond.
RYC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to it. That's going to be tomorrow night, and we're going to go have a good time. Super stoked.
So what do we do for opening day on the bay, or opening weekend? Because we didn't actually participate in the official Sunday activities. We kind of had a big day on Saturday, so we busted it back to the house on Sunday.
Yeah. Opening day weekend, we took a new track for our turn.
One of our longest sails.
Yeah, all the way out to Tiburon.
We went around the north side of Angel Island and down through Raccoon Straits and docked at Sam's Cafe,
where they have sail up service.
Yeah, they have I don't know, what is it? There's 2 docks there next to the ferry, between the ferry and the Corinthian Yacht Club.
You can tie up to the pier, no problem.
Yeah, they have 3 floating fingers there. You can dock big boats there. There was a 50-foot boat next to us on the other side that was getting table service from the restaurant.
Plenty of room.
They went up to the patio and grabbed a waiter and then came back to their boat to get served.
We took out the former owner of our boat, Dustin, and his cousins that Saturday, one of whom had never been sailing before.
And it was totally amped. He was
way
stoked, dude. I think Lauren posted a video on our stories or something that he was pretty amped.
Yeah, level 10,
especially
on the stoke level for sure.
He got to drive a little bit.
Exactly.
We taught him how to
tack,
how to steer to a sail trim, and how to tack.
Yep.
So
having a good time.
Yep.
We took the dogs out too.
Oh yeah, the dogs came with us. We had a full boat. We had 4 in the cockpit. Lauren was up by the mast, and then the dogs were down below.
Yep. So full boat, dinner over at Sam's. Threw down on a really nice dinner, and then after sunset, we sailed all the way back to Berkeley.
Yeah, I think we left the dock around 7, and then, the wind had kind of died about 15 minutes before that, so we ended up motoring.
Testing the limits of our electric motor.
Testing the limits of our electric motor. We ended up motoring through calm water around the south end of Angel Island. Once we got around that point there, we found some wind, and what they say is don't bet against the westerly.
And Tim said that about 10 times.
I did,
as we motored
because
out.
I was just trying to keep the faith.
Yep, and he ended up being correct. And we got a nice little puff all the way home.
Yep, so we had a nice downwind sail all the way home. What I was worried about was if we did take a little longer track to go home, but, going there, we had a really strong westerly coming through the gate. When we got to the edge of the Berkeley Circle and the Southampton Shoal platform between Angel Island and Richmond, the wind completely died, and it was totally we were in the lee of the island, and we didn't have any wind there. And we made the right call by not retracing our track back through Raccoon Straits.
Agreed.
Which even that may have been better with the current, but I was afraid that we would have to motor a really long way before we would pick up any kind of breeze. By coming out of Tiburon, Belvedere, by coming out of the cove there and going around the south end of the island, we were able to pick up the breeze right around Point Knox. There's a lighted buoy there, a red buoy, number 4 on the marks chart. Shortly after that, I think we motored for about 1.5 miles, 2 miles to get to there. Right about that time, the wind started kind of shifting from south to west. Just past that, as we turned towards Alcatraz and the Bay Bridge, we picked that westerly up, and we were able to go wing on wing and sail through the shipping channel at 5 knots. Mm-hmm. So that was great.
Not to mention, we got some epic views of the Golden Gate Bridge all lit up at night,
Yeah,
and the San Francisco skyline. So that was like an added bonus.
There wasn't really a moon, but there's plenty of light out there. We had the GPS running so we could pick out all the lighted buoys and the marks and stuff.
Yeah, we had 3 of us on the way back, so I was able to kind of look out into the channel and keep scanning the horizon.
Yeah, Lauren was the lookout. I was trimming the sails, and Dustin was steering.
And we made it home safe.
We made it home safe.
In time to make it to the
first night sail. Yeah,
to the yacht club.
We made it back by 10 p.m. So we got hammered at the yacht club afterwards. So
I don't know about getting hammered, but
I did.
Anyways.
So that was our kickoff for the sailing season. It was somewhere around 20 miles, I think.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And our first nighttime sail.
Yep.
Dogs came with us. Had a really great time.
Good times all around.
They loved it. We got them off the boat and took them for a walk in Tiburon, and then as soon as we got back to the boat, they were stoked to get back on it. There was no dragging them on. They liked it.
They're boat dogs, so they like to be with us. That's the most important thing.
They snuggled up on the settee.
Yeah.
The whole time, and then Ellie was surfing on the floor, looking out the window.
Yeah, when we're heeling over, Ellie's definitely in the middle of the soul, kind of leaning from side to side like she used to do in the truck when we would drive the mountain roads back in Georgia. So she's down for the adventure for sure, even in her elder years. The next weekend, which is the Great Vallejo Race.
The Great Vallejo Shitshow.
The Great Vallejo Shitshow.
It's not, just to clarify, it's not a shit show because of the way the race is put on or anything.
Not at all.
The Richmond Yacht Club and the Vallejo Yacht Club did a fantastic job of organizing this event that has been going on for
122 years.
122 years. It's incredible.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, apparently it started as like a lot of yacht races start, where some people were drinking at the bar in Vallejo, and they decided to race down to Berkeley, and they spent the night at Berkeley and raced back to Vallejo the next day.
The genesis of an incredible race.
Yep.
And this race it's an official YRA race, Yacht Racing Association of San Francisco Bay, who is the primary organization supporting competitive racing in Northern California. And YRA is definitely affiliated with Latitude 38. Print copy of the sailing calendar that we referenced earlier it contains all of the kind of officially sanctioned YRA races, which you can also find on their website, which we'll link down in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
And a word about PHRF Ratings, or Performance Handicap Racing Fleet. Tim's been doing some research into that because it kind of determines the handicap of your boat.
It's we finished before a lot of boats. It didn't matter, We are so on Bodacious Plus, which is a 48-foot one design. We have a rating of -12, and so one of the boats we were racing against, Sorcy, we give 24 seconds per mile, right? And so she has a rating of +12, right? The other boat, Zamaran, has a rating of 24. So we have to give them 36 seconds per mile. But we were neck and neck for 20 miles on the way back from Vallejo and sailed different courses. We stayed further upwind kind of all day and sailed a little bit shorter course where they sailed a little longer course. Maybe they had a better breeze out because they kind of went further out into San Pablo Bay, where we kind of cut the corner a little bit between Carquinez Strait or whatever and the Brothers Islands. Mm-hmm. We kind of cut the corner pretty close. They may have gone a little further offshore, which we kept it closer because of our current maps. We're saying there was less current where we were going to be. Mm-hmm. It looked like the breeze was equal looking at the water, so we decided to sail a little more west.
Yeah. I don't think
Anyway.
the PHRF rating is not a perfect system, I'm sure,
No,
but it's something
it's
to understand.
boat by boat. There's an application on page 56 of the YRA calendar that we were referencing earlier. You fill out all this stuff, whether you have a spinnaker, whether you have a roller furling, your rig dimensions, your displacement, your length, like boat dimensions, mast material, everything about your boat. Fixed keel, wing keel, like centerboard, all that stuff. Whether your propeller has 2 blades or 3, and so it's a rating given boat by boat. The one design boats like the Express 27, which had a really large fleet, I think that was one of the biggest classes because in this race there was 117 boats with 18 categories basically, and I think the Express 27 was one of the larger fleets where they all have a rating of like 127 or something like that, or 130 roundabouts. And they have specifications to race in that one design fleet down to like, I mean, your winches have to be the same size as your competitors. You know what I mean? So everything, it's match racing to where the boats are identical and whoever wins is the best crew. You don't have a different boat. Where in our fleet, in the boat that we race, there's only 8 of them. I think there might only be like 6 of them left. So they built them back in the 90s.
Wow.
So.
And that boat is Bodacious Plus.
Bodacious Plus, yeah. John Clauser is the skipper. He's won a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It has a reputation in the Bay for sure. And if you haven't heard of him, he's got a website so you can go look him up. But
yep, we'll list that in the show notes.
One of the smartest guys I've ever talked to. He's a physicist and experimental physicist. But anyway, we raced against a FAR 52. And if you want to dive into this, Lauren's going to post a link to the results in the show notes. And if you want to get a rating for your boat that hasn't been rated before, it costs $100, and you send this page into the YRA with all your info.
So the course for the race started at the Berkeley Circle, or the Berkeley Fan, which is close to the entrance for the Berkeley Marina.
Yeah, it's a series of buoys like G, F, E, C, and X. And that's kind of where we have our Friday night races, is kind of in that circle of buoys. Depending on the direction, they'll pick the course. And
those waypoints, yeah.
The
finish on day 1 is right outside the entrance to the Vallejo Yacht Club. And the Vallejo Yacht Club has a raft up of all the boats that come in. So Bodacious Plus got to the yacht club very early. They were the second boat in, right?
I think we're the third boat to finish.
Third boat to finish.
Yeah, because there's Ruffless, the J124, finished well before everyone. Like, they were the fastest boat on the water, for sure. They have the same PHRF rating as we do.
Okay.
I think their crew has sailed together for quite a while, and there's some very proficient sailors on that crew.
Nice.
And they sailed that boat exceptionally well. I mean,
Awesome.
they blew the doors off of Arsenal, which is the same boat. They sailed well. They were the first to the dock. And so the 5 big boats here raft up right med-tide to the dock right in front of the yacht club, like on the guest dock.
Yeah.
And then everyone else kind of fills in the empty slips on the 2 main fairways. And then once those are full, they start rafting boats in those main fairways.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, there's a band playing when we finish the race. There's like the Mare Island Brewing Company pouring beers out front. There's like, they're cooking oysters out front. They had dinner up there if you wanted it. They had everything. And then us with the VIP, our front row seats to the shit show, like right, like you can see the band playing like from the deck of the boat.
Yeah.
So I don't even think our crew got off the boat for like an hour.
It was definitely a couple of hours before the crew got off the boat.
Well, because we got there at 2:30, right? Like we were docked by 2:30. I think we finished around 2:00, and then, which was way faster than I thought we would get there. Like, I mean,
Same.
We averaged like 9 knots, like heading up, we sailed through the river channel like really fast. We caught a lot of boats coming into that river channel. Some people that they got ahead of us. Like we made up a lot of time on Zamzran and Ruffless in that river channel. Even though like we had a full-on broach, like when we passed one of the buildings and got this big gust, you know, as it's coming out of the west and we're headed north, and it's like it just keeps shifting and changing as it's going through and around and over these buildings at the shipyard and all the old naval buildings there on Mare Island. And I mean, we just got hammered by this gust, and you know, the boat's just laying over, everyone's climbing up on the rail, and like I'm looking over, I'm in the back running the running stays, and I'm like, I can see the rudder coming out of the water, you know, climbing over the side of the hull, and like the boat just rounds up, lays back over, and we just kept going, you know. But it's a great boat. I've had a lot of fun sailing with 13 people. You know, it takes a lot of people to run that big boat. And
great boat.
We have a really good crew. We have a really competent skipper who, I mean, John owns the boat. He drives the boat. He does all the tactician type stuff. I mean, he's been doing the race for as long as I've been alive, basically.
His wife, Bobby, is a big part of the support team as well. And she was there.
Yep. And they, they've been sailing in the Great Vallejo Race since I've been alive. And he has a book of course data of all their previous tracks and what the current was doing and what the wind was doing, and like all the data collected from the boat, runs a computer on the boat to collect all the data from the instruments and record it, and then he takes it home and analyzes it and like stows it away for next year, you know?
Yeah.
Which it's just crazy. He has just such a brilliant mind, and I'm learning a lot sailing with those guys. So.
Yeah, I think that's one of the common denominators or comments that I've heard from all of the crew members on Bodacious Plus is how much they've learned about sailing in the time that they've been having the opportunity to race on that boat, which is awesome. So yeah, Bodacious Plus was rafted up between Zamazon and Ruffless. And front row seats to the shit show. They had the announcers on the deck overlooking the big boats and overlooking the whole marina, and the announcers would welcome every boat. So we got to watch, 75, 80, 100 boats basically enter the marina behind Bodacious Plus and get welcomed by the announcer. Come on in, raft up right here. And got to see people kind of raft up. And then definitely
it's just a junk show. Like, people, like small boats coming in without motors that like have to get a tow from the committee boats, and like
very impressive.
People coming in that already like had beers cracked and like just aren't paying attention to what's going on. Like a couple near collisions, like people trying to get in and out at the same time. Like
there was 117 boats that entered the race this year, 18 different classes of boats. I read on the website that there has been years with over 200 entries.
I mean, that's insane.
It's insane. It was a crazy raft up as it was with 117 boats, much less cramming another 75, 80 in there. So good times. Day 2, the boats left the Vallejo Yacht Club and raced back to the entrance to the Richmond harbor.
Yep, where it was a pursuit format. So the way they do that is the slower boats start first, and then they give time, and the faster, bigger boats start last, and then we have to pass everyone. So once again, we had front row seats to the shit show, where like it's this, I mean, look at the chart, okay? At Vallejo, it's the yacht club's like just north of the ferry terminal in Vallejo, and so there's a dog park there, and that's where the start line was right between the yacht club and the ferry terminal. Like the east half of the channel is a start line, and then on the other side of the channel is upwind, and that's like, where everybody's kind of waiting to start, going back and forth. And we just see group after group after group starting, John's great at the starts. Like, he nailed the starts both times. Like, we even edged out Roughless.
It was awesome.
On the start of the pursuit race.
Yeah, it was cool.
The J124 started with us because I guess we were only 3 boats, so they started the 5 boats together there. They're coming in from our starboard, and we had a boat length on them, edging them out right up to the buoy. And so they had to, like, stall basically and dive in behind us. And Arsenal hit the line at full speed, like in the middle of the line. I don't know what Zamaran was doing, but they were behind us for a while, like all the way through that channel. Like, so we have to come south out of that river channel on the Napa River 3 or 4 miles. Mm-hmm. And it's a main shipping channel there. The ferry boat has to get in and out of there like every half hour or something like that. Mm-hmm. And there's like 100 boats coming out of this channel at the same time. The ferry driver was pissed. He was on the PA. You guys got to get out of the way. It's like, good luck with that, dude.
Nobody was getting out of the way.
I mean, you got boats from like 16 feet all the way up to like 50, 52 feet.
And everybody's racing.
You got like boats from brand new to 1927. You know, there was kind of a one-off boat, the 50-foot Water Witch. It's a 50-foot cutter. It was originally built and owned by one of the guys who wrote the bylaws for the St. Francis Yacht Club.
Cool.
Back in the early 30s. It was sold about 30 years ago to a member of SFYC. If you Google search Water Witch, it's been restored a couple times now. It's a brand new boat right now, which is really cool because it's from 1927, and there's never going to be any more of these.
Wow.
You know, and I think they finished the most recent refit in like 2017 or something like that, which was like a 30-year process.
We'll find a link and post it in the show notes.
It's a very cool boat. One of my favorites out there. It kind of looks like a Farallon Clipper, but it's a little bit longer. I don't even know what you call it, like the doghouse or whatever, like the cabin top. Where on the Farallon Clipper, it has a very square like cabin top that starts like ahead of the mast, and the mast actually comes out of the cabin top. On this cutter, the cabin top starts behind the mast and has a very long boom. Like the boom is like 20 feet. But it's sail number P3, and the boat's name is Water Witch. Very cool, like part of San Francisco history.
Cool. That's awesome.
Anyway, so yeah, there's all kinds of boats coming out of this channel, and what the crazy part was, I mean, we were sailing fast. Like we passed most of the boats before we even got out of that channel.
You guys sailed really well on day 2.
Day 2, we sailed a lot better than we did on day 1. I think we would have sailed better if we had an asymmetrical or a code 0, like a reaching spinnaker, where we are able to carry our spinnaker pretty well on a reach, but not as good as some of those boats with code 0s, you know. I mean, that's where Roughless was just way faster than us. I mean, they're throwing up fucking 2-foot wake. Like, they're just fast. The wind just wasn't quite deep enough for us to fly our spin. Although the new spinnaker, after we tore it in the Wheeler Regatta, the new spinnaker's flying really well. We got Pineapple Sails built John a new spinnaker that's kind of narrower and taller.
It's very pretty.
Really pretty sail. It's the same like kind of blue stripe with the red sail, and asymmetrical spinnaker or code 0 or something may have been a good call for us on that race, which the boat has one, but he didn't pack it. I think mostly because the crew is young, where we haven't worked together a whole lot. And he has some core crew members that have been around for a while, but a lot of the guys have been there on the boat less than a year.
Including yourself?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think he's just kind of a traditionalist as well and likes the symmetrical spinnaker on the pole. You know?
Well, we saw a couple other boats from the BYC out there, which was awesome, and definitely looking forward to getting to know some of the people that are associated with some of the boats that we're starting to see out there at some of the larger races.
Yeah, the Trimaran Greyhound, we see them out all the time.
Saw Mojo out there.
It's like an F-22 with a big square top main.
And we saw the list of boats and saw that there were some other boats out there from the BYC as well, which is really cool. It was a great time.
It was fantastic.
It wasn't a shit show.
The organization of the race was not the shit show.
Not a shit show at all.
The shit show was like all the boats running aground in the channel and we literally have Bodacious has a 10-foot draft, so we had a diver come and dig us out of the mud in the morning, basically. And then
it is shallow over there at the Vallejo Yacht Club.
A couple of boats hit ground right as they're leaving the marina. These boats with 9.5, 10-foot drafts, which there were several of us.
So we're looking forward to
another. The
mud's
mud's just not that deep there,
Looking forward to another 360 days or so before we go back to Vallejo.
Yeah, I don't really think I can't think of a better reason to go to Vallejo. I can't think of any reason to go to Vallejo except for this race. Maybe Pirate Fest.
Well, that's neither here nor there, but we'll be back next year, hopefully, for another Great Vallejo Race.
And thanks to the Vallejo Yacht Club and the Richmond Yacht Club.
And the YRA.
And the YRA for putting on a fantastic race.
Yeah.
And everybody, all the volunteers at the Vallejo Yacht Club, the band, the cooks, the bartenders, everybody there did just such a great job and was so welcoming, and we had a really good time.
And thank you to John for skippering Bodacious Plus and inviting Tim to be a part of the crew, putting together such an awesome crew, and thanks to the crew for being so accommodating and welcoming towards us as well.
Yeah, totally. Thanks to the 116 other captains that took part in the race and brought their crews, and
good time for all.
It was just such a good time. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, and a great way to kick off sailing season on the bay.
Totally.
So upcoming events in the sailing community that got our eyes on, looking forward to maybe being a part of.
There's the Ditch to Delta run coming up.
Ditch to Delta run?
Uh-huh.
What's that?
It's a race up the Delta.
Race up the Delta.
I think they go to the Stockton Yacht Club or something like that.
So from Vallejo to Stockton.
No, it starts somewhere else. It's a long race.
Well, taking a trip to Vallejo, then taking a trip to Stockton, really touring California in style.
Oh man, yeah. There's
the Ditch to Delta race. Definitely looking forward to tomorrow's Wednesday night Beercan race with Sail at the Richmond Yacht Club.
We got invited to go sail with those guys tomorrow.
Continuing to hit up the Friday night Beercan races at the BYC,
where Lauren's been sailing with Mad Max, a Santana 22, and they have a 3-person all-girl crew that's been very consistent this year.
And competitive.
Yep. And I've been sailing on Maybe Baby, a 34-foot hunter with Mark Bird, kind of some pickup crew. But I haven't missed one in 3 weeks, so I think I'm the most consistent crew member there.
On Maybe Baby?
Yeah, we only
for
had...
the season.
For the season. We only had 3... only had 3 of us last week, and we did pretty well.
Yep. We recently found out about the 37th annual Plastic Classic Regatta on Saturday, July 23rd.
Yep, in July.
And that's going to be at the Bayview Boat Club, hosted by the Bayview Boat Club. And that one is going to include only fiberglass boats built in the 60s and 70s?
Technically from 60 to 97.
Okay, got it. So that one should be a lot of fun.
Yep. It should be a lot of fun. It sounds like that one's been going on for 30 years or so, at least, and was another kind of race conceived at the bar.
Who would have thought?
You have a good idea. It's just, you got to run with it.
We're going to be doing some cruise outs to the South Beach Yacht Club, hopefully, to catch some Giants games.
Yep. There's 2 Dodgers series this summer that are both hosted in San Francisco. I think one's in June and one is in August?
September, I believe.
September. So, yeah, June and September. And I think that the Richmond Yacht Club and the Berkeley Yacht Club are both hosting cruise outs. From there to the South Beach Yacht Club.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they'll be drinking in oysters.
Oysters.
Definitely some offshore racing starting up. Offshore Race Week, which is a series of races from San Francisco to San Diego. First one on the 21st, they start going down to Monterey Peninsula Yacht Club.
Cool.
And then they go from there down to like Long Beach, and then they go from Long Beach to San Diego.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the
like
calendar all filled up for 2022.
It's really cool. Like we said earlier, we're really excited about some events.
Something going on every weekend for sure.
Yeah, totally.
And
even if we can't go take part in them,
still planning on following
along,
paying attention,
reading about the write-ups, checking out the Jibe Set website with the results.
Yep. Keeping our finger on the pulse of the sailing community in the SF Bay.
That's what we're doing.
So we're stoked to be a part of it, stoked to have our boat on the San Francisco Bay, I think. We made a great decision, and we are confident about that at this point in time.
So yeah, here we go. Ditch to Delta Run is on June 11th, 65 nautical miles. In the past, they've had 150 boats or more. Plastic Classic is July 23rd, 37th annual, it says, and then it's hosted by the Bayview Yacht Club and the Islander Bahama Fleet. Lots of offshore stuff this summer. Hopefully Bodacious is going to enter in some of those. I hope so. I was talking with Dwayne about that, and he's got kind of high hopes for John's confidence in the crew. We'll be doing those beer cans every Friday night.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We'll see what happens. We'll catch you guys next time. This episode, once again, has been sponsored by Dirtbag Yachtsman,
powered by Modelo.
Sierra Nevada and Modelo. Cheers, and we will see you out there.
Fair winds and following seas, my friends.
Bye-bye.
Bye.